All right, let's start
All right.
recording. We're rolling now. We're back on. This is episode 10. Back on with Kevin Black, a repeat customer here at Ganzfeld Files.
Hello, thank you for having me back.
I'm your host, James Whalen, and today we're going to talk about all kinds of goofy stuff. We're going to get Kevin back in the chair
Finally.
today.
I've been fiending. That's all I can think about.
Yeah. So we talked about, well, first let's make some announcements. I was just at Chicago Paracon.
Woo!
I spoke with Jack Chavez, who I think that's how you say his name. He ran the event. I also want to get him on as a guest. Shout out to him for getting that event going. That's cool. I also spoke with Darren, who is the host of Weird Darkness podcast. And he told me that he started to get sleep paralysis after he started doing his podcast.
Really?
Which is weird. You know, I had sleep paralysis as a kid, you know, so I thought it was strange that someone would just get it later in life and only after he started his podcast.
What was his podcast?
It's called Weird Darkness, and
Weird
he does
Darkness.
he reads stories about the paranormal, hauntings, you know, things like that. So
Can't imagine that messing with your sleep.
right, yeah. He just knocking on that door, you know. Also, shout out to Matt from Supernatural Spectrum. I was on his YouTube show. So check him out. I was on episode 29. So again, if you want the abridged version of all these episodes that I do, there it is.
You're all over the place right now, man.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm blowing up, which is nice. Yeah.
I
Also,
love hearing your voice at the start of podcast doing the ad read. That always calms me whenever leading into the rest of the Ganzfeld.
Oh, good. I practiced for that one.
How
Yeah.
many takes?
I did like 3 takes, but I practiced before I actually read it because you know you got to get that 30 seconds down just right, you know. And I also wanted to have it sound good.
Is there a time now? It's going to be me interviewing you actually.
We'll just flip it around.
Is there a time frame that they have to give you? Like you have to nail this ad in 30 seconds?
It
or
has
something
to
like
be 30, like no more, no less.
that? Oh yeah.
So you got to hit that mark of 30 seconds that's an ad on Anchor. So Anchor is currently the only ad I have running.
We love Anchor.
Yeah, we love Anchor here at the Guns.
I'm getting my Anchor tattoo while I'm in the chair today.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, they already got me 60 cents so far out of ad revenue, which is awesome.
Hell yes.
Also, speaking of money, you can also buy me a coffee with the Buy Me a Coffee app on my thingy that you put on your Linktree. That's what it's called, Linktree. On Instagram, so just follow that. Now we got all that crap out of the way. No, it's good stuff. I love Anchor. Anyway,
Anchor's the best.
we have taking a break from Adventure Champs. We have Kevin Black.
Thank you again for having me.
You're
I've been
welcome.
waiting for this for, 2 months ago?
Oh yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we got Kevin Black on. Off mic, Kevin, we were talking about how you had a very relaxing time in the chair.
The chair itself, I feel like it was kind of like par for the course. I mean, not that it's a normal thing. I guess par for the course is probably the wrong phrase, but it was like, I felt like I'd had the full experience of what it's like to go under in there.
Yeah.
What I found like later that day and the next few days was like a lot of mental clarity. Like I feel like that was a process of like whatever the imagery was that I'm still trying to figure it out, even going back and listening to it again. It was sort of my brain processing stuff. Like we talked about it a little bit, like it was a form of meditation.
Right. Yeah.
Where I kind of view it as like I was sitting there, even though there was sound in my ears and light in my eyes, it was sort of like, and even though I was talking, so it's nothing like meditation, I was just sort of like processing what was going through my brain and sort of like, I feel like taking files and putting them into a filing cabinet and kind of putting things back in order, even though it was like this weird jumbled thing of birds and water and weirdness. It was sort of like stuff in my head that I needed to process that I'd never given time to process.
Right.
At least that's how I took it. And then like for the next few days afterwards, I just felt like, oh wow, I'm less anxious. I feel more mental clarity. Just felt in a good flow for a few days. So
And we're back. My battery decided to cut out there for a second, but Kevin, you were in the middle of a thought.
yes, I was in the middle of thought. So yeah, like I was saying, it was sort of it felt like, because I've messed around a little bit with meditation in the past, and whenever I would stick with it for a little while, I would have the same feeling I felt for the few days after I did the experiment, where it was sort of like I'd felt like my brain had processed things, and I kind of like cleared out the clutter. And I think that's kind of what happened when I went in the chair. Yeah. And I don't know, it was a really cool experience. Like, I was really nervous going into it, and then after doing it and then talking with you guys and coming out of it, I was like, yeah, I feel refreshed. I feel mental clarity, like, which is a rare thing these days. So
do you think it was like a space where you could mentally, I think you were mentioning like rearranging like the files in your mind. Like it just like rearrange things in your mind so that you have like space to walk around in your brain and kind of, I think like that.
I think, yeah, probably something similar to that, where it's just sort of like the kind of mental clutter that I'm sure a lot of people feel and deal with all the time. Sort of like sitting down even just for 15 minutes, and even though I was talking for a lot of it and there was a lot of stimulation going on, it was, at the end of the day, it was just me sitting in a chair processing my thoughts, and it was kind of similar to meditation in that way that I found.
Yeah.
And it opened up a lot of space for me. And I feel like rather than gave me time to like search through my mind, it let my mind more clearly interact with what was going on around me. So rather than like introspective, as I feel like being in the chair was the introspection, and then it kind of freed up myself to like be more outward the next few days, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So kind of unpacking your mind in the space of the universe, I suppose.
Yeah. It was sort of, I guess, decluttering the subconscious so the conscious self could be more clear.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've done meditation as well, and that's the effect that I get from meditation too, is that you get this mental clarity afterwards. There's less anxiety. It's easier to think and to feel things and recognize emotions when they come up. So with the Ganzfeld, like I wasn't expecting you to say that it's relaxing, you know.
Yeah.
Whenever John and I do it, like, of course we're pushing our limits as far as we can, and we always like come up with something otherworldly, and we're like, whoa, after the next couple of days. But I would also say too that it does give you enhanced like perception, maybe not like psychic perception in the following the days after, but it does give you like this sense of perception where you pick up on things and you see things that you didn't before. So I guess in that way, it is helpful. It was always like sometimes it like I've seen things and it just kind of like freaks me out, you know. So that's why I was surprised that he's saying that it was relaxing.
Well, it was, yeah, and also I guess because my first time through it wasn't like what the goat made of eyes,
right,
or an entire world being destroyed. So I can I can absolutely see how that for the next few days would make someone go like, what the hell is going on right now? Like for me, I mean, like it was a lot of weird stuff, but it was nothing where I was like unable to contextualize in the moment. So
well, I'm glad it was relaxing. And we were talking about since you said that, I was like, oh, maybe I'll open a meditation center and have it be the first of its kind, of like Ganzfeld like meditation center.
Just beach chairs lined up, just people coming in.
I would like to see what would happen when you get like, a bunch of people in the room together. It would actually be interesting to have someone who is either a therapist or someone who is like a shamanic healer, have them in the room at the same time when someone is doing the Ganzfeld.
Yeah.
To see where that goes. Or hook up a therapist to the Ganzfeld.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That would actually be pretty fascinating to see if like someone who understands that mindset of like what mental clarity is or what the search for mental clarity is, sort of like see if that gives them what I'd feel like I got out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them a chance to do therapy like one-on-one with the person in like the realm of the subconscious floating out in the universe.
Try and have, or even like as you guys as I saw when you guys did it with Samu, where like you guys are kind of tossing out questions to Samu. If there's a therapist or someone of that line in the room, kind of have them try and send out things
Yeah.
to the person in the chair.
Yeah, that would be dope. Hell yeah.
A Ganzfeld therapy session.
Welcome to the Ganzfeld Files. Yeah. I'm going to start talking like this.
The
now.
new most
Yeah.
relaxing podcast on all platforms. Thank you, Anchor.
Thank you, Anchor. Yeah. Nice and relaxing. The last episode 9, John and I went a little far out there. Of course, we took mushrooms when we did it, which is not a requirement. You guys don't have to if you're doing this at home.
Are you going to do the at-home kit you can start sending out to people?
I might. I don't know. Maybe we do a Kickstarter. You know?
Kickstarter, the at-home age. What age is 18 and up?
Yeah, you got to be over 18.
Yeah, fair enough.
I wouldn't recommend anybody under the
maybe
age of
for
adults.
therapy for overactive children.
It could be. I mean, there might be an application for like ADHD children or something. You know, it could be that. Yeah, I think that just damn near anything is possible.
Yeah.
With what we've seen so far with the Ganzfeld, I think like pretty much anything is possible. I think remote healing is possible. You know, I've seen John psychically view through a piece of paper, so pretty much anything is fucking.
It's wild. It's a weird thing. Yeah, I know. I know. It came across at the start of this conversation where I was like, yeah, I felt really calm afterwards. Like in the moment, I was like completely in there and completely gone. Like there was, I guess it was calm in the sense that I was sitting up in a chair and my body was relaxed, but like everything that was happening, like visually and audio wise, was like this is kind of fucking wild, man.
Yeah, I think part of it is that in your normal day-to-day conscious waking life, you're the one driving the bus. The bus is you. So you have to be in charge. But when you lay down into the Ganzfeld, like you're not in charge. Something else is. And you're
That's
just kinda
such a
floating.
fantastic point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of it from that perspective, but that may be also because as someone who's like a very anxious person, it was sort of like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm not the bus driver. That's a perfect example. I'm like, all right, cool. It's like the Uber I took here. I could just sit in the back seat and not have to worry because he has the GPS. He's going where he's going. I'm just sitting in the back seat now. That makes total sense actually.
Yeah, I think we hit it off there. Hit the nail on the head. So in other news, they turned CERN back on. So yeah, that was interesting. And we got those James Webb photos. Like everything is going really cool lately. We got disclosure from the government, so
Man.
I think it's pretty cool.
And we realized how small we are in the universe.
Yeah.
Or even smaller in the universe.
Yeah, check out episode 9 where I make alien contact.
Ooh. Gotta go back and listen. For anyone who's only listening for me, all 4 of you.
Yeah, Kevin was on episode 7. Now he's back on episode 10. And we're also going to jump into the Ganzfeld today. We'll see if we can cram in like 2 sessions, like me do one, Kevin do one. Kevin, we're also I'm gonna give you a little mugwort today, too, which is it's just like you just inhale the smoke of it, basically.
Okay.
So it's just a herb that you burn. It's supposed to give you like some stronger visions and things like that. So we'll do that. So what we're gonna do now is take a little break, and then we'll come back, and then Kevin will be in the Ganzfeld, back in the chair, back to relax.
Finally.
All right, here we go.
It's like very faint static waves. Like they almost feel like they're behind a wall, but I can see through the wall. There's like static waves. Just the less I focus, the more clear I can see them. Almost looks like there's like the static waves are still there, but it's almost like little round steps. Now I feel like I'm walking down those round steps. And it seems like I'm just walking down these long steps, but I don't think I'm making any progress, even though I feel like I'm stepping along them as I go. I feel like almost like diamond shapes are kind of coming towards me as I walk forward. The steps are gone, but I still feel like I'm headed in that direction. Almost feels like I'm passing through a tunnel now. Everything went from light to dark. Now it feels like the tunnel is sort of swiveling around in circles, but I'm still headed in that same one direction. The tunnel split into two parts and kind of faded away. And now it's just continuous, what I guess are like the tunnels sort of fading across. I'm trying to pull my eyes in both directions. I feel like I've stopped moving forward. I think I've started moving again, following the one that went to the right. Feels like something is going with me, standing next to me on my left side. I think I just saw like a pair of eyes or a face kind of peer at me, then disappear. I can like see the faint outline of like someone sitting off to the right. The like tunnel is gone. I see another face again. Keeps flashing in and out. It almost looks more like a skull now. It's almost like as stuff moves around, I can see that static in the background, but now I can see like a shape or maybe a face every time I'm able to see through. It's like the static becomes really clear around the edges, and every once in a while I just see this like skull face right here. I can't tell if I've started moving or whatever the face is started moving, because now it's moved over to the left side.
That's great.
Now there's a face almost dead center. I can just barely make out eyes, but it looks almost like a skull, more so than a face. And it keeps fading in and out. Feels like I can faintly see myself now heading down like a bridge or like a railway. Almost like I'm driving, but it's like almost as if I'm on like a roller coaster. But it keeps fading in and out. One moment I'll be on it, the next moment I'm back. See another faint skull in the distance, but it sort of disappeared.
I'm going to try to ask Kevin questions as he's in the Ganzfeld.
There's something, I feel like I'm looking down on it. There's like a house or a barn. I feel like I'm slowly coming down towards it. And now the track is back, the roller coaster track.
What's the purpose of the house?
I feel like I just rode it into this house and it's just an endless hallway.
What else is in the house?
And I really want to look at the sides of the walls, but for some reason my focus is just staying down this hallway. And the skull sort of flashed, but it went away again.
What is at the end of the hallway?
Just saw another face slowly slit up. Its eyes were closed, and then one eye opened and it closed again and then faded away as it went up. It's an image that kind of keeps fading in and out. It looks like someone getting into a car, but it will come into focus and then leave focus as quickly as it came.
Focus on that image. Trying to get meaning from it.
There's another face. Feels like I'm like sitting watching footage of the car driving around. Like I'm not there, but I can see it.
What year is the car from? Describe it.
And another, like, skull or sinister looking face just kind of went in and out quickly. It was almost like a clown face, but it faded away quickly. It's almost like a mask. Now I'm kind of, feels like I'm going back into like a tunnel, but it's not straightforward anymore. I'm kind of at an angle. Feels like I just came out of a tunnel. I can feel the light coming up, and it almost looks like finally coming out from a tunnel and just having the sky wash over you.
Where are you now?
Now I feel like I'm going hundreds of miles an hour through like the middle of nowhere. Feels like there's like mountains in the distance. Vision of the road keeps fading in and out, but I keep going around corners and turns. It feels like it's constantly heading towards a cliff, but as the car comes up, there's just more road.
Who's driving the car?
I'm trying to look in the rearview mirror, but it feels like one of the faces from before is in that rearview mirror. Sort of like a dead, sinister looking face.
What does it want?
And now the road's gone, and the car's gone. And it feels like the static that was behind that wall has come back in. It feels like something or someone's like walking in it. It's like the faint outline. I can't tell if it's like a mask or a skull. I felt like the mouth of it opened up, but as it came towards me, it just looks like another tunnel. And I feel like I'm sitting in a room, and I'm looking out the doorway, and this dark figure just walked past, but I couldn't make out who or what it was. And I see people moving back and forth further down the hallway. I feel like I'm in like slow motion headed through the hallway.
Who are these people?
Not like I'm walking, but like I'm sort of floating in slow motion forward. Now I'm in some sort of alley that seems to stretch on for miles, and I felt like I started to go quickly, then I just stopped. Started going backwards, and now I think I see like two of the faces when I look up, kind of looking at each other. I feel like I'm floating out of wherever I was, sort of going higher and higher away from it. But the face is right here still.
What is this?
It's like, for some reason, they're just like a cluttered table, but not that I'm looking down on, like I'm facing the top of. Ugh.
That's it.
Sheesh.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit recap. Kevin is back.
Hi.
So, let's describe.
Man, all right.
So this time, actually, you used. I lit up some mugwort. I had a mugwort stick, and so you said that kind of brought out some visions a little bit more, made it a little bit more visceral.
Yeah, like last time, it felt like it was like very 2D, sort of like. And this time, it sort of felt like I was more like within a space rather than observing a space.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like it just felt more tangible, and it like.
Yeah.
Even though I was like completely in there, once my like senses caught that. What is it called?
What's up?
What is it called?
Oh, mugwort.
Mugwort.
Yeah, mugwort. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, once my senses picked that up, I think that was kind of the triggering point more so this time through.
Right.
Where it's sort of just like, I mean, even, I think I can remember saying in the beginning where it's like, I see these steps, I'm trying to walk the steps, I'm not moving.
Right.
And then introduce a new sensory element, and all of a sudden, I am headed through this tunnel sort of thing. I think it sort of like
Right.
kick-started my consciousness or subconsciousness to sort of be like, all right, we're going in, we're actually going to really interact this time rather than let us just observe or let things just
Right.
observe us, which was the first one.
You had at least, I want to say like three instances where you're talking about tunnels.
Yeah.
You were going through tunnels like a couple of different times. So maybe your mind was kind of traveling into different spaces, different realms.
Yeah, and it wasn't always the same. Like, the first time it felt like I was like going through those steps, and then there was sort of like the blob came back. I don't know, but it was like this black thing, and then it felt like when you're driving like and it's daylight, and then you hit a tunnel and everything just goes black.
Right.
Like even though felt like pitch black, I still felt like I was like in a car moving, or I was still moving at a quick pace.
Right.
And then it wasn't always just, and then all of a sudden it turned to like tracks or like going around a bridge, and then sometimes I was like in a long hallway, or I was in a barn or something. Like,
Right.
kept fading in and out of what I was headed down. It was almost like I was traveling very quickly, and then my brain was sort of going through like the shutters of like, all right, cool, hallway. Now we're gonna switch to the bridge. Now we're gonna switch to back to the hallway or whatever, going back and forth.
Yeah. I think it's sometimes you do get like direct images, but sometimes whatever you're connecting to, I think, gives you metaphorical imagery.
Yeah.
To try to make a point, which I think this instance was metaphorical imagery, in which you kept seeing like a hallway or a tunnel or something like that. I think that was to kind of say that you're going to somewhere else, like you're traveling to a different place.
Yeah.
And within this traveling, you also saw like faces come into your vision.
Yes. And this was not like the blurred out image. A lot of them were very clear. There were a few times where, and maybe I should have on mic, but it was also me sort of like keeping track of my anxiety and where I was at in there.
Right.
Where it was just like, there was nothing polite about any of them, I guess, to be the way. It was almost like Halloween masks, or like really well drawn evil faces.
Right.
And there was a few times that really, outside of, we'll get to the clowns soon, but which is a fantastic sentence. We'll get to the clowns. Like there was one time, like, and I think I said it in it, that there's like a face that came up, and it wasn't facing me necessarily. It was kind of turned to the side, and then just one eye opened to look at me, then it closed, and then it faded away.
Just gave you the one eye,
and I could see the full face, and then when the eye opened, the other eye kind of blurred.
Yeah.
And then it closed that eye, and then the entire face went away. It was not a friendly look. None of the looks, none of the faces, even sometimes they weren't even looking at me. It all seemed very sinister.
Right. So was this? John's had like images of faces come in before.
The three of us always seem to have
Yeah.
little things run into each other.
Yeah, there's similarities when you do this. But with John's, like, he was definitely in a different like realm or dimension or something like that, and these faces were being aggressive with him because of where he was. So it's like they didn't want him in their space.
It didn't. I really don't feel like. I feel like the faces themselves were intimidating faces.
Right. Were they?
But I don't think they were trying to intimidate me out of where I was. I feel like it was more either observational, like they were looking at me,
Yeah.
or they were like fixed points wherever I was at.
Okay. And these faces were definitely, they were sentient, and they could.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they would. Some would like open their eyes and look at me. Some would like open their mouths, and so yeah.
Did they have the ability to move around, or were they in a fixed point?
Some of them were like floating through, but a lot of them were very like fixed point. Like one of the clown faces. I have a huge fear of clowns. One of them was literally like if you're looking forward and someone's standing to the right facing to the left. I wish I'm describing this well enough. With my hand motions, I'm describing to you. Like they were looking not at me, they were just looking straight, and they were standing to the side.
Huh.
And even though the face wasn't oriented towards me, I could feel it was 1000% focused on me.
Right.
And I feel like it was kind of like, I don't think I was traveling at that point, but I feel like it was like a fixed point that I was meant to go past.
Yeah. So all of these faces you said they had they were scary in appearance,
Yeah.
sort of demonic, but did you get the sense that they were trying to scare you, like trying to intimidate you?
Thinking back, I don't think they were.
Do you think that's just how they look?
I think that is just how they look. Like wherever I ended up at, that may just be how they look in that place.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't feel like they were trying to intimidate me or they did. They succeeded with if that was their intention. I just thinking back, I don't get the feeling that was their point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are just beings that exist in this realm.
Yeah, and they were
Yeah.
kind of I think it was you know what? Maybe it's not that they were trying to get me to leave, but maybe I was intruding. And I think that
Could be. Yeah.
now that I'm kind of trying to piece it together, that might have been why I started to go more quickly. Where
Moving through space.
like I was just
Yeah.
like, oh wait, maybe I'm not supposed to be here. I should
Right.
speed up right now.
Yeah, I think that, like when we had John, I think it was back in episode 4. John was doing this. We were also doing psychedelics, but he ended up in a place where he definitely wasn't invited to, and everyone there was kind of like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they were attacking him, kind of like in an energy way or a physical way or anything like that, but they would kind of like get in his face and like
Yeah.
get really close to him, like, "You're not. What are you doing here? Go away." That kind of thing.
The only one that felt intentional, and I think it was because I was looking. Like the whole time it felt like I was fixed forward. Like I think at one point I was in a hallway and I really wanted to like at least check to see if there were doors or stuff on the walls, and for some
Right.
reason like I was so focused on I'm going this direction, I'm going as quick as I can. The one time when I felt like I was in a vehicle and I went to look up in the rear view and I just saw like one face looking back at me, that felt like the only one that was actually there to like interact with me, intentionally interact with me.
Right. And that face that was in the rearview mirror, that was a skull or like a decaying face?
It was like it was almost like a, do you remember when they open the ark and the guy's face like starts to melt?
It melted it,
It was
yeah.
like the midpoint of that face. Like if you
Okay.
paused it halfway through, it was like a decaying face.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, that is the only one where I get the sense that it wanted me to either not be looking at it or not be there.
So it doesn't want you to look at it.
No. And yeah, it was the only one that I looked at it through a prism other than my own vision, if that makes sense. Like I was
Yeah.
looking at it through a mirror,
Right. Yeah.
and that was the only one that didn't want me to look at it.
That seems pretty common. I mean, with the entities that John interacted with, they didn't want to be looked at either.
Yeah.
There was John described it as a man bear, but we know that it was actually like a skinwalker, because I showed him a picture of like a shaman with a bear head on his head, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that is what I saw." So I think that when we do this, we can kind of go to other realms where there are things that like their privacy, and they don't want you looking at them.
Yeah,
So-
no, of course not.
but it's like, as humans, like we don't have any control over where we put ourselves
No.
when we're
No,
doing the
not at all.
Ganzfeld. So I don't think they understand that. I think they think that we do have control. It's like, hey, stop looking at me. Quit coming to my dimension. Go away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, and it's like all the other faces that like would open their eyes or open their mouths. It almost felt like didn't feel like you were asking like were they trying to like intimidate or something like that. Didn't feel like they were trying to intimidate me, but like the eyes opening and the mouths opening felt reactionary still.
Yeah. I mean, because if let's say, that this is like a different dimension,
Sure.
and they're not used to seeing humans.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you pop up and they're like, what is that thing? What is it doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, if you were just like at home watching TV and then a demon face just like appeared in your living room, you'd be like,
Oh, what the?
what is that?
Honestly,
So,
yeah. You know what? I appreciate you saying that because I feel like I'm being really selfish about this potential dimension I went to. I'm like, why were they looking at me like that? I went in there like Karen at the dog park where I'm like, these dogs, and it's
Stop
like, oh wait,
staring.
I'm at the dog's place. I should be. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a fair point. I'm going through there just like, why are all these creepy faces here? And they're looking at my what I think is a normal human face, and they're just like, what's that demon face doing here? Like they're looking at me as if I'm the weird outsider.
Yeah, to them you might have a demon face.
Honestly,
yeah. If you went to like crazy clown world, like demonic clown world, and they're like, oh my god, why does he look like that?
I was so scared that's what that was going to become. Like it started as like skulls and like zombified decaying faces, and then the occasional clown would pop in, and I was just like, please
not the
God,
clowns.
no. Thankfully, the clowns for the most part were like fading in and out. And
Okay.
it wasn't like Bozo the clown faces. Like I said to you off mic, it was like almost like humans, like the Joker is the best example. It's like a human face, like a very clearly formed human face, just with like clown makeup.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be. I don't know. I can't. I was gonna guess and say it could be like humans people who were once human who have like transformed into these different entities who have some sort of thing carrying over from their life, hence the human face, but with something obscured on top of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It is possible, but it could be just some different realm. Like we don't know.
Some of them felt like they could have been just like really good Halloween masks. Was something that like crossed my mind at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but some of them just seemed like there was no layer over what the face was. That was just what their face was.
Yeah, it's not a mask. It's
Yeah.
just like what their face is. Yeah. I've had, a couple of years ago, I had a jester-like face appear. People reported that from like DMT trips
Yeah.
as well. And then there's also like this trickster element that people talk about in the paranormal realm, where it's like people assume that it is tricking you and just for fun or malice or whatever, but really it's like what it's doing is like throwing things at you to see if you'll figure it out, because there's like a next level up.
If there was, I was too busy on the plane of like, all right, let's go as fast as we can through this.
Just get through this.
But there was right. All right, clowns are here. Time to sprint. Yeah, but there was the one, and now that we're talking through it, same thing happened last time. A lot of stuff's coming back to me now. Mm-hmm. Like, it just seemed like out of nowhere I ended up at that room at the end of the hallway.
Right.
And like figures were moving across, and it was the first time that it was like bodies and not just faces, and they were like actually moving. Mm-hmm. And then once I was in wherever this was, it almost felt like a giant like castle or something. Once I was going through there, I was moving slowly. Mm. And it was like I would be going down a hallway, and then all of a sudden it would transition to another room, and then it transitioned to another room. But I felt like it was always in the same place, and it seemed very ornate. I wish I'd been describing this in the moment, but it's all really hitting me now. Like, it seemed just like a really ornate, nice sort of castle. Mm-hmm. And then as I was like, I think at one point I said I was like floating up and away, it almost seemed like I left a mouth, and that was me like leaving the castle. Right. And sort of floating up away from it, going up into the air. The only time I went slowly was when I was like interacting or within that space. Yeah.
You mentioned going through tunnels, halls, things like that. There was a very transitional trip you went on. Did you feel like you had control over your own movement when you were doing this?
I felt like, because I think early on it was almost like the tunnel split off into two. Mm-hmm. I feel like that was the only time I really, outside of like when those stepping stones appeared in the beginning, and I was like, all right, I'm going to start trying to travel on these. Yeah. And it felt like I was, but I felt like I was staying still. Mm-hmm. And it was once I got to a point where I found, once I got to a point where I found a certain direction, I decided, all right, I'm going right. That was, outside of like that and like looking, like finally looking up in the rearview mirror, it felt like I was sort of streamlined forward and very focused forward.
Right.
Like, it was like when that creepy thing appeared to the side of me last time. It was just sort of like, I don't know. I really want to look around, but something's keeping me very pointed and focused forward in this direction.
Yeah. So you had like some choice, but it was like limited choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I could look around as long as it was within my like direct field of vision. Like
Right.
if it was directly to the right of me, or if I wanted to head directly to the right of me, for some reason I just couldn't head that way. But I could definitely. I was sort of streamlined on whatever track I was on, quote unquote. But I was able to like look, and every time I'd look at a face, it would like interact with me looking at it. And then one would be up here to the right, and I'd look at it, and the mouth would open, and one would be over there on the side, and I'd flash for a second. And so I had the choice to like look around, but it was really more so myself reacting to like what would pop up as I was going.
Yeah, I've had the same thing with. I've experienced it, and also John's experienced this this kind of like sense of, oh, it's a new toy, it's a new thing or whatever, and then like these entities will come up and like kind of like give you like a once over look, like, whoa,
Yeah,
what is that?
that was what the hell?
What's that thing?
I know. It goes back to like, what are these creepy things doing here? Not what am I doing here with these creepy things?
Like,
Yeah.
why does nobody speak English here?
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
just-
like, I want to see the manager.
It's like me going to a foreign country and it's like, why aren't you guys speaking English?
Yeah, yeah. So there was, let's see, there was the house,
Yeah.
and there was like a long hall in the house as well.
Yeah, it was so weird. It felt like I went from being in like the tunnel, and then I felt like I was just like sitting in a room at the end of a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Like either it was like the starting point or I had made it to the end of it.
Right.
And there were like, I realized that when like something walked by right in front of the doorway. And once I recognized that, I could see that it was a really long straight hallway.
Yeah.
I would see like other smaller figures walking back and forth. And like I said, that was the first time I saw bodies versus just faces.
Then just faces. Yeah. Yeah.
And then once I realized it was a hallway, that was another point where I had choice, where I was just like, okay, I want to travel down this hallway. And that's when I started feeling like I was like floating and going slowly through. And I feel like it may be because it was one of those moments where I felt like I was able to make a choice, was why I was slowed down. Might be the case. Like once I got really streamlined, like on the track or wherever I was at, it was started going very fast. But once I made the choice, like I want to go down this hallway, it went very slow and controlled.
Yeah. You also had an image of a car, and you were looking at a car. Someone was getting into a car or getting.
That was because it was weird, because I can't remember if that happened before or after I felt like I was in a car.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like it felt like I was watching a video of someone getting into a car and sort of driving around.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like I was like right there. Like there was a screen playing it, but I was part of the screen. Like I wasn't in the thing with the car, but I was like witnessing it up close. I wish I could describe it, but this is as we come back to every time.
Yeah.
I would love to have the words to describe what it was actually like. But yeah, it was a car. I could kind of make out someone getting into the driver's seat. And then it was like I was watching footage of a car just kind of driving around. It wasn't a straight line. It was sort of making turns and doing things like that.
So, let's see. Yeah, there was also the static and the screen, and you were able to look like through the static, and the static was kind of
Yeah.
changing. Yeah.
In the beginning, I had a half second of thinking it was like the bubbles again.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I was looking at it, I was like, well, no, it wasn't exactly, I guess static was probably a bad word. It was like a bunch of like really thin lines interacting with each other, either that or a bunch of small black shapes that the white lines were kind of cutting through. But either way, it felt like this sort of like constantly moving, undulating sort of thing. But I wasn't directly in front of it. It felt like it was like behind a wall, and I could see through the wall and see it, but I couldn't like get to it. It was like the two-way mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it felt like I was like looking through a two-way mirror at it, where I couldn't interact with it, but it was definitely right there.
It sounds like you were kind of looking at this portal almost, and then and then looking at it, looking through it, and then you have this imagery of going forward, going through a tunnel. So like it's like you went through the portal and then went into this other realm.
And you know what? Yeah, that's actually a great point. Now that I'm kind of piecing it all back together, I was looking at it, and I was like kind of trying not to focus on it because that's when it felt most clear. It was another close my eyes to see moment. And like once I really stopped focusing on it, but was looking at it, that's when like those steps appeared.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize in the moment that the kind of two-way mirror or whatever it was went away. I was like, all right, now I'm choosing to go down these steps. And once I made the decision to go down these steps, the static was gone and it was a whole new place. So it seems like it could have been like a portal or something, or like I had to, once again, like you were asking, make the decision like, okay, now it's time to go through this.
Yeah. Yeah. And we, as like people, paranormal investigators, people who do like paranormal podcasts and things like that, I always like to point out that, if you see something scary, you see something like a face that's like is demonic, or you think it's like, if it's scaring you, like I would say, break it down. Try to say like, is this thing actually attacking me, or is this just how this thing looks? So like I'd say that if something, people might get freaked out and they might walk away from it forever, and like I don't want that. I don't want people to get freaked out either. But I would say everybody who's listening, keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Like early on, I was just saying like I kind of see this face and it kind of looks like a skull. And as I kept going through and they started to get more clear and it seemed like demonic or evil, it was more just like I wasn't going, except for the clowns, I wasn't going like fuck that. It was more so like what? And then I realized, oh, I don't think they're trying to intimidate or go after me. I think they're here. And in my selfish brain, I thought, why are they in my way? Move, I'm trying to do something. And then not realizing, oh, wait, I've now entered into where you're at.
Yeah, trying to fly through your realm. Get out of the way.
Walking into someone's house and go to the refrigerator and like, why are you looking at me weird?
All right. Kevin, do you have a time for me to jump in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I'm going to do a session. Like maybe I'll go to the same realm.
Ooh,
we'll see.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And then you think they're not scary at all. Like these really pleasant, sweet faces. You're just such a wussy, Kevin.
All right, we'll take a little break.
All right.
Okay.
For you. There you go.
Thank you.
No problem. How long do you want to do?
I'll do 15 minutes.
Do 15 as well? All right. So just tap your leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I'm done. All right. Here I go. Yep.
See you soon.
Getting this like flickering in the light, but I don't think the light is actually flickering. It's like if something were to fly past my vision, like something really quick, something that blocks the light for like a half second. I got an image of a face, but it was just the eyes, kind of slanted, dark circle eyes, kind of like an alien face. I'm getting like a sense of energy in this area to my right. The image of a triangle in my mind. And now there's like woods, foresty imagery. So something in the middle of my vision is trying to peek through. I'm getting a face, but it's very dim. I'm seeing 2 dots, like a pair of floating eyes. The the whole experience just got very different. Getting this image of somebody with a top hat. It's an image of like a two-headed snake. Something is moving to my left and right. I feel like something is out there trying to contact me. But I can't pinpoint where it is. Seeing like metal. Getting like the face of a lion, but it looks like it's drawn. Again, there's these two glowing eyes that kind of float around my vision. It's like a high-pitched voice. It's calling out. The face of a cat. It's the face again, but it's like dark eyes. It doesn't really have pupils, it just has like circles. The image of hands. Someone just holding their hands up. Getting some whispering. There's like a... looked like a skull, but with a bunch of candles coming out of it. It's freaky. It's like a skull with a tongue, and there's like candles coming out of the eyes and nose holes, everything. And when I said that, I got like the image of like Kali popped in my head. Or the tongue sticking out. It's a triangle again. Like an image of a star, but it's like a platform. Could be a place of ritual. There's a very visceral face of a cat-like, could be like a panther or tiger or something. The nose is very prominent. Definitely a feline, larger animal. I feel like the animals keeps popping in to look at me and see what I am. There's a... looks like a skull. And the eye sockets are black. I'm at a scene now, like someone is sitting crouched next to a fire. The fire is very bright. They're looking into the fire and then they're looking at me and then looking at the fire again. I'm seeing a black pyramid, but I'm looking at the top of it. It's like obsidian. The purpose of the pyramid is like a meeting place for important people. It's like a hub. The imagery is faint, but it looked like a tube. Now I'm looking at like a vertebrae. All right.
I was about to tap you. Actually. I was literally about to tap you.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Right at 15 minutes.
Woo.
That was weird.
Okay, now we're back from my Ganzfeld trip, and
Welcome back, James.
thank you. So I'm a little spacey right now. But Kevin took notes,
Tons.
so which is awesome. I was getting like the radio was doing like this clipping thing, so it was kind of hard to relax and focus and things like that. But overall, there were some good stuff in there. There was some imagery. I saw skulls, like you did.
Skulls with candles coming out of them.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was pretty sick, man.
Yeah, that
you like
was,
it was. I think it was. That's one of the moments where you like, start laughing, like, this is freaky. I was like, I thought you found something funny, and you're like, oh, this is weird as shit. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it was like that's like some Indiana Jones shit that I saw right there. Yeah, because they weren't tea candles. They were definitely the longer stick candles,
long wick candles.
Yeah. Yeah. Then there was like sticking out of like pretty much every orifice that a skull has. Mm-hmm. And there was that one, and then like one of them had like a tongue that was coming out of it.
You said Kali popped in your head?
Yeah, after the tongue skull thing with the candles, then I got the image of like Kali.
Yeah.
So which has the tongue like sticking out. So I might have been queuing into some kind of like religious like India.
But that fits in because at first you mentioned the star platform, mm-hmm. and then you come back to the triangle, where you felt like it was like an important place of ritual or like a hub of importance.
Yeah, there was definitely, that was like the point of it, was that it was a place of ritual, and for nothing else. So the platform was a star, and then it was like this long skinny platform with like nothing around it, so it's like you gotta be careful not to fall off of it. So I got the sense of ritual that kept coming back around. I think I did notice when you were doing the mugwort as well, because suddenly it just got a little bit more visceral, and I felt like I felt very heavy.
Was that because you said there was the sudden switch, and then there was a guy with a top hat?
Yeah.
It was the fascinating thing, because before this switch happened, we had the eyes, mm-hmm. and then the heavy switch happens, and you started breathing way heavier once everything sort of shifted. And the only thing that kind of stayed from the first half was the eyes, mm-hmm. almost as if maybe they followed you.
Yeah.
When you went into this next spot, or they were constantly observing you and you stayed, but it decided to switch around you.
Yeah, it probably could have been constantly observing, because it kind of never left. And I felt like it was always very far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got the glowing eyes, the two glowing eyes were like very small in my vision. So they're like really, really far away. So it's like something is probably observing from somewhere else.
Yeah, because you first said you saw two dots, and then you quickly went, no, it's a pair of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that could have been a cat. Like, it could have been like big predator cat.
Because you described two different sets of eyes. It was like hollow black eyes, and then very glimmering white eyes.
Yeah. I kept getting like the dark black eyes. Those would pop up, and there was like a skull with the black sockets. There was an alien face, but it was kind of barely just an outline, but the eyes were so prominent.
Yeah,
with the alien face, and like I said, it was static, and it wasn't interactive. It just kind of popped in my vision.
Yeah. Let's see. So you'd said at one point, so there was a guy with a top hat, mm-hmm. then a two-headed snake.
Yeah.
And then you said something was trying to contact you.
Yeah. I couldn't make out what it was, and I couldn't get a message from it.
And then you said something about metal, and then later you mentioned the Black Pyramid was obsidian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was looking in. That was with the fire. So I was at like a campfire, and then there was someone like next to me, and would look at me and then look at the fire.
Yeah.
And it's like it's trying to point me towards the fire. So I looked into the flames. So it's like Game of Thrones. So I look into the flames, and that's when I got the image of the. I was looking over the top of a black obsidian pyramid.
Did you immediately get the sense that it was like an important place?
No, at first I was just looking at it, and then I got the thought in my head, like, okay, I'm going to try to figure out what this is. And then that's when I got the the information in my head that it was like a meeting place.
Yeah.
So
Do you have any idea who may or may not have been by the fire?
I couldn't tell. I mean, it seemed human.
Yeah.
But it didn't say anything. It just kind of like looked at me and then looked at the flames as if to point towards the flames and say, "Look at this." And then that's when I got the imagery of the pyramid. It was smooth. It wasn't put together in pieces. It looked like it was all one piece and about the size of the pyramids we have on Earth. So and then it was like a big important place. It was a meeting place.
Now that you mentioned the pyramids, I mean, it almost immediately lends itself to the cat. Yeah, sort of an Egyptian theme, sort of weirdly, subtly in the background, where you have the pyramids, which were such an important piece, and then obviously you get the cat imagery.
Yeah. So I got the nose was very prominent a lot. So yeah, it could have been some Egyptian stuff because I got cat a lot. You're right. Yeah, the cat and then like tiger, lion, things like that. Definitely feline.
Yeah, and you had something that I had it a little bit with the birds the first time I went in, but you were getting voices, or at least one was a high-pitched voice and one was whispering.
Yeah, I think it was like way in the background. It was like, but it wasn't. I couldn't tell what it was. There was disembodied whispering. Couldn't make out what they were saying, which is pretty common for
Was there
this.
any like tempo or melody to it, perchance?
No, and it was just one voice too. It wasn't like multiple voices. It was just kind of, and it was further away from me. It wasn't really close up. I couldn't tell what it was saying.
It was the important meeting.
It was just like
you could hear it. The masters of the universe were going over everything, and you could only hear it faintly.
it was a Zoom call. Yeah.
It was you peered into the fire, which was actually just a MacBook lens. Let's see. I'm more interested in this because so you had the two dots, like this pair of eyes, and then you said, "I'm having this huge shift," and then you start breathing heavily, and then you laugh for a second. And I was actually laughing sitting in this chair, and you're like, I see a guy with a top hat. It was just out of nowhere. And well, because like guy with a top hat, and then the snake comes, and then the cat comes. I was almost getting like a circus vibe for a second.
Yeah.
Like a guy running a circus, and then the animals are kind of coming through.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been like a sideshow. Kind of act. Yeah, he was sitting on something. It was like a chair or throne kind of thing. But there was this performance aspect to him.
Yeah, now that you kind of talk about it, it seems like there's this sort of like you were witnessing a higher level, like even the guys sitting on the throne, or like this feels like an important meeting place, or this platform feels ritualistic, like it was like very important things that you were being drawn to.
Yeah. The platform was interesting, and then there was like the skull with the candles coming out of it had importance too. It was definitely part of the ritual, whatever the ritual was, but that had significance. Like it wasn't. I'm trying to put it into words. It's weird. It's hard to put
once again every time.
But that was something that you do. It was like a tool for their a ritual. It wasn't like we killed this guy, so now let's stick candles in his eyes because we hate him or something. It was definitely like it was a tool for the ritual.
Yeah.
And it did something. I don't know what it does, but yeah. And it might have something to do with Kali. I don't know. I'd have to look into the research of what people do with Kali. I know it's a different sect. I don't think everybody worships Kali in India. It's a different type of thing.
And so because you were talking about like the faces being, or the eyes being sort of like a fixed point that was far away. Mm-hmm. But did you feel like you were tangibly in person when you were looking into the fire, like you were there with the guy, or do you feel like you were witnessing it, if that makes sense?
It wasn't a third person type
Okay.
thing. I was there, but it was more of a vision than me actually being there. So it's like I'm having this vision of like being in this place with this guy looking into the fire, but I'm not really there. It's more metaphorical, like it's a vision, like a vision quest kind of a thing.
It's almost like classic, like you even jokingly said, Game of Thrones. One of the classic parables was like, look into the fire.
Look into the flames.
What do you see?
Yeah.
And apparently you saw the Illuminati.
Yeah, it's the Illuminati. Yeah, I was just like
it's always the
spying on it.
Illuminati. They were messing with your headphones. They were trying to stop you. They were trying to get through.
Messing. You didn't get that clicking sound, did you?
No, everything went clear for me.
Weird. I was in the same spot too, and I kept getting static in the headphones, and like going like clipping in and out, and it was distracting. And of course, like, did you see if the light was flickering at all?
No.
Okay, because that's happened before to me. Like the light looks like it's going on and off.
Well, that was It was the first thing you came out with. Was like, I'd see this light. It's flickering, but it's not flickering.
Yeah, like I know it's not flickering,
But it's flickering.
Because I've had that happen before. Like because I check the light after I do the session, and I'm like, it's staying consistent. It's not flickering. It's not, because I thought there was like a cable loose or something.
Yeah.
With it, but it was not. And that's happened in other sessions. Like I've done live sessions where it does that, but I think it's actually something like flying by.
That's
And like blocking light for a second. So if you're looking at a bright sky and a bird flew in front of your vision and blocked out the light for like a half second, then that's what it would look like.
And then that led to the eyes in the alien face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the alien face. They were kind of they were ovals and they were slanted downward. And the rest of the face was kind of obscured, but the eyes were there, and they were dark.
Were they like the kind of big oval, like grays eyes that people imagine?
Yeah, but more, I guess, more metaphorical. Not like I actually physically saw that type of face, but it was more of a metaphorical image, and the eyes were kind of like slanted downward a bit.
Yeah, and it seemed like most of the eyes and the faces were center.
The alien face was kind of up and to the left.
Oh, really?
And there was I think the skull was down and to the right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the lights that were eyes were very small, like little beady eyes, and those were very far away. Those were in the center of my vision.
Even though they were little dots, you just innately felt that they were eyes.
Yeah, I intuited that they were eyes, and they kind of, because they were like this, they were right next to each other, and then they did like a little movement.
Yeah.
So it's like they're kind of dancing around. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm gonna say that they're a pair of eyes, because they wouldn't just be like two little lights in the distance. So, and then there was all the like the panther and tiger type stuff. So it could have been like some kind of like ethereal predator,
Well, because we have like the eyes far away, and then we have like the whispering you couldn't make out, and then at one point you said it felt like something was trying to contact you.
Yeah.
That could have been whatever it was that was far away.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Could have been. It's just like this session was kind of different from other sessions because I felt so distant from everything. Even though I kept trying to go forward. It was I think it was because of the headphones were distracting. But yeah, it was kind of hard to reach out this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tried to get on a full moon, see what happens.
Maybe the eyes will be closer next time.
Yeah.
At one point, hands?
Yeah, the hands are just kind of like holding up in front of themselves and just like sitting there.
No body, no
body.
nothing. Just
hands.
Hands came out.
Yeah.
Because There was hands, and then whispering, and then the skull.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, obviously, not afraid to jump to conclusions. Could the hands have been, and the whispering have been presenting the skull?
They felt separate.
They felt separate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like separate imagery. Which is interesting because, like, you got skulls this time.
Yeah.
I got skulls, and I've had skull image, like, in previous sessions as well. And then when that skull image popped in the last time I had it, it was at, like, it was like a house in the south somewhere. Because I kept getting, like, other, like, rattlesnake and things like that, so.
Snake again.
Mm-hmm.
Early on. Yeah, because I felt like a lot of stuff was, like, presentational to you.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you're obviously, like, a platform where things happen, or it's someone telling you to look into this.
Right.
As in where mine was much more passive, where, like, I felt like I was going through and things were observing me.
Yeah, you were traveling through somewhere, and then, mine was... I think it was because, like, that thing was trying to reach out and contact me. It was kind of showing me imagery.
Yeah.
Which is things can show you images to be metaphorical, to kind of communicate meaning through these metaphorical images. I couldn't really put it together.
Yes.
I don't know.
So, James, what did they show you?
What's the message? I don't know.
So if I give you cat plus skull plus candle plus triangle, what does that equal? Do the math equation.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know?
Yeah, cat, triangle, skull. So the universe speaks in emojis. That's what you got.
You got the triangle, cat face, fire emoji. It was trying to, and the hands were actually texting.
Yeah.
The hands were holding a phone. You couldn't tell. It was an iPhone, and they were trying to send you a message.
Oh, man. What did I end with? What was the...
Vertebrae.
Vertebrae, yeah.
There was like, so you got to the pyramid, the meeting hub, you said.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a faint tube.
Yeah.
And then a vertebrae. And then even the weirdest thing, I was literally about to tap your leg. I was reaching to tap your leg as you took off the goggles. Almost exactly at the 15-minute mark. Yeah,
I felt like it was done. It was over with. Yeah, I felt like it was coming. The session was coming to an end, and I was like, I felt like I was early. I was like, I'm just gonna end it here. But I was exactly at 15 minutes.
Was there a reason for that?
I don't know. I kind of felt like I was not really connecting and going as deep as I wanted to.
Sure.
With this session, so I was like, man, I'm just getting like really random shit. So.
This is just like an average, boring trip right now. This is just...
Yeah, I was like, oh, I want something a little more visceral, like Kevin was doing. So I was like, a bunch of stuff happened. I was like, all right, I think I'm just gonna end it right now. You know,
It probably felt there is a lot of stuff that calls back to itself, like the shapes and the cats and the eyes. They're sort of coming back, but it was more so like fixed point perspective. Now these things are presented to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's a fixed point perspective. Things were just popping in the middle of my vision. I wasn't really interacting, like with other ones, I wasn't like being drawn in as much as I would like. And some other sessions I've been drawn in like a lot, and I'm really getting into this other realm.
Could the distant eyes just be a reflection of how you were in there?
What do you mean?
As in, like, you didn't feel like you were actually interacting. It was almost like you were distant eyes to it as well.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
The summary of the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They're cool. That could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It killed me. I could hear the white noise. You had it cranked up enough, so I was worried for a second. But when you were like, everything changed, breathing really heavy. There's a guy in a top hat, and I was just like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Oh yeah, I thought it was funny because it's just really random.
Yeah.
You know,
you never even mentioned he was like on a throne. Right?
Yeah,
it was just I imagine just like a vaudevillian sort of guy in a top hat, sort of trotted out in front of you.
It was kind of like I laughed because it was kind of like his mannerisms were kind of silly because he was kind of like undulating a little bit. So he was like, dun, 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 you know? And I was like, what the fuck is this? That's why I was laughing.
Fred Astaire made an appearance. Oh man,
yeah.
And that kind of, I mean, honestly, if he was sort of like dancing in, it's even more presentational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, presentational again, yeah. So
it's sort of like when that shift happened, it was like the guy with the top hat's like, and now the second half of
here comes the show. Yeah. It's interesting because it's like let's say that well, you and I are human beings on the planet Earth.
So far.
Yeah, so far. But then you got this other entity, and like we're ringing the phone and we're calling up on them, and we want to talk to them. Basically, we want to like communicate. But that thing on the other end is like, okay, how do I explain what exactly I am and what is this place?
What's the most clear explanation? Okay, look in this fire. Do you see that triangle? Do you see that skull? If you don't figure it out by now, you're clearly an idiot.
So yeah, I think that's what it does. It just like throws imagery at you and like hopes you get the point, you know.
Well, that was what mine was the first time going in, where it was just like I was a fixed point, and then it kept tossing things at me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what does it mean? What does it all mean?
What does it mean?
And actually,
the horse pool.
But it wasn't a horse.
It's a horse, but it's not.
It's not.
But it's a blob.
Oh man. So, yeah, it felt like, and it was probably around like the 10, 11 minute mark where you were still observing, but it seemed like the most tangible thing was the person by the fire.
Yeah, that was a little bit more tangible and visceral, where the other things would kind of like go in and like slip away. Things slipped away really easily this time. It was hard to grab onto stuff.
Yeah, and even like that most tangible moment of like looking, finally I can look into something.
Yeah.
It just went back into presenting you.
Yeah.
Something.
Back into presenting mode, which I think it has to do, now that I think about it, it has to do with my mindset going into it.
Yeah.
So my mindset going into it was like, oh, I want to see something. You know, I want something to come to me.
Yeah.
Rather than, okay, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look around myself and walk through this thing, which is like, I don't know what mindset you had in before going into yours, but that might control your Ganzfeld session, like what you are thinking about before you go into it.
Yeah.
So, which I haven't thought about before, but
and you know what, now that you say that, I'm really thinking back to like an hour ago when I went in, I was like, kind of like, where am I going? And then I spent the whole time traveling.
The question on your mind was, where am I going?
And then so I just started traveling so much.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So that's something to note for later sessions. Like, what is your mindset? What is your mindset? It's kind of like when I interacted with the being with the eyes.
Yeah.
My mindset before going into it was like, I want knowledge. I want the knowledge of the universe. And when it presented itself to me, it presented itself as the God of knowledge. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like psychedelics where they say set and setting. This is like, before you go into a Ganzfeld session, like prepare your mind to say, like, what do you want to do for this session? So that's interesting. I think we'll leave it there. Thank you.
Wait.
What?
What were they trying to tell you?
I don't know.
Tell me.
It's just emojis.
I want to know. Just emoji.
Fire, top hat, cat.
They were trying to whisper. That was them trying. You just got the bubbles. But the text never sent. The whispering that you couldn't understand was just the bubbles before the text sent. Then they just sent you emojis.
Just emojis. Yeah, I don't know. The most concrete thing was the pyramid, looking into the flames, and then looking down at the pyramid, and then I asked myself the question, like, what is this thing? What's the purpose of this? And then I got the intuition that it was a meeting place for high, important people. So, and it seemed like it was like a solid piece, So, in my mind, I'm asking myself, is this a place where people meet physically or mentally?
Oh.
So it could be a place somewhere that is non-physical, in a non-physical realm where people meet mentally.
Did you see it at a time where no one else was checked in?
I couldn't see inside, so I just knew that this is where people meet.
Oh, okay.
I didn't actually go inside of it. I was just like looking over the top of it. So it could be a place that people meet mentally, and because I guess if we're gonna speculate, I would say if everybody in the universe is gonna have a meeting, it wouldn't be physical because they're too far away.
Of course. We have our Zoom pyramid meeting at 3:30 today.
Everybody log on in the astral realm with your Zoom call.
Everyone get your ping pong balls on. We will meet at the pyramid at...
That's what I want to do. I want to send a message to Alpha Centauri and say, "Hey, put some ping pong balls over your big ass eyes.
Meet me at the pyramid. Look in the fire and meet me at the pyramid.
Look in the fire. Meet me at the pyramid. I know these are confusing instructions, but just do it. You know,
it'll make sense."
And like, oh, the monkey people are back. Great. Yeah. Yeah. So, want to call it good? There, yeah.
Call it good. Shout out to Skulls.
Shout out to Skulls. What up? What up, Pyramid Skulls? Yeah.
Shout out Fire Guy.
Fire Guy
For helping him out.
What up, Fire Guy?
Trying to show him. Yeah. Just trying to show him the way.
What's up, Top Hat Guy?
Top Hat Guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you were laughing. I thought a guy at a top hat was funny. Now I know he's on a throne undulating. That's beautiful.
Doing that. Yeah. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. Kevin, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah. And then one more time, what's your other podcast?
It's Adventure Champs. You can find it on pretty much any streaming platform. It is a D&D podcast. Adventure Champs 1 on Twitter and Instagram, I believe, if you want to follow us on social.
Hell yeah. Let's do that. We'll definitely have Kevin back on the show.
And I love you, Anchor.
And we love Anchor. Yeah.
Let's bump that up to 70 cents.
Yeah.
Next time I'm on, maybe
let's get some ad revenue.
Maybe $1.
Yeah.
Could I be crazy? Maybe $1.
We'll see. All right. If you guys want to check out my live stuff or just follow me on Instagram, check out the Ganzfeld Files podcast on Instagram. You can also Google me. I got that sweet SEO without even having to try, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Later.
Bye.